Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and also turn on the notification bell so you can get notified every time that I put out a video. Alright, baby girl decided to nurse right when I was ready to do this video, so pay no attention here. Alright, so today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my successful VBAC story / labor and delivery story for baby number 2. Alright, so I'm gonna start at the point where I started seriously praying for this pregnancy. I realized that throughout the pregnancy I was a little bit negative or like not so positive because I did have a early delivery, my first baby, and things did not go the way I thought it was gonna go. It was just like so impromptu and unexpected, so I was a little nervous that the same thing was going to happen for this pregnancy, so I wasn't really like, you know, hoping for the best, if that makes sense. But at some point, I think when I reached 35 weeks, I was like, no, I can't do this. I need to change my mindset with this pregnancy. I need to start praying seriously about it and desiring certain things that I want for this pregnancy. So I started praying seriously about, you know, going all the way to 40 weeks, having a full-term baby. I started praying seriously about my labor and delivery. I want to go into labor naturally. I don't want to be induced. I want to have the baby on her due date, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, that's what I was trusting the Lord for. And so fast forward to 40 weeks exactly on her due date, you know, there were still no solid signs of labor yet. So throughout the day I would get like a few contractions here and there, but they were so sporadic, they were not consistent at all, so I was not paying attention to it. And I made sure I wasn't, you know, going to be so focused on looking forward to my labor starting, or like just, I guess, what am I trying to say? I didn't want to obsess over going into labor that day, so I just, you know, left it alone, just went about my day just relaxing. And so around 7 p.m. on my due date, which was March 5th, I started having contractions, and they were kind of consistent. So at this point they were coming every 8 minutes, and the pain level was like 6. It was very tolerable. So honestly, nobody even knew I was having contractions. I didn't even tell my husband yet at that point. And so we decided to go have dinner at a Chinese buffet. So we got ready and we were on our way going, and then in the car I was still getting contractions. So at that point I did tell my husband that I'm having contractions, and they're pretty consistent, but the pain level is very tolerable, so, you know, I'm fine. So we got to the restaurant, we're eating, and I noticed that my contractions were coming a little bit more closer together. So when I was timing them, I realized that it was 3 to 4 minutes apart at this point, and the pain level was slightly increasing. So I was like, babe, I think we gotta go, because at this point it's coming 3 to 4 minutes and I'm a little nervous. I feel like I shouldn't have left the house in the first place. So, you know, we finished up, we wrapped up, and then we left. And then on our way home, we decided we were gonna leave Isabel with my mom, since she lives like 5 minutes away, just in case I went into, you know, I had to go to the hospital, so we wouldn't have to like make extra trips. So we went home, packed up Isabel's bag, and then took her to my mom's. And then I, you know, continued laboring at home for a while. It's crazy how I was in a little bit of pain or whatever, but it was such a sweet moment for me because I didn't have this experience with Isabel. And so to be even able to experience going into labor or like having labor contractions at home, and, you know, breathing through it and like kneeling on the bed and stuff like that, it was just so beautiful to me. And at one point I remember telling my husband that like whenever I'd get my contractions, I feel like laughing. I know I sound like a lunatic, but I felt like laughing, I guess just because I was so thankful and I was so joyful to actually be having contractions at home and going through labor, like I was laboring at home, you know. So that was definitely very good to have, that I went into labor naturally. And so I think at around 1 a.m. The pain level increased. Like at this point it was at like 8.5, 9, and they were coming every 6 minutes, you know, so like 6 minutes apart. Pain level was at an 8, and I was like, you know what, babe, I think I do want to go into the hospital because this pain is becoming a bit unbearable for me. So I called the hospital and told them it was 6 minutes apart. On the phone, I did get a contraction. I had to pause. I couldn't talk through it. So, you know, the nurse told me to come, the doctor wants to see me. So I went to the hospital, straps me in and triage or whatever. And of course, I get there and my contractions, they stop. Of course, they would stop. So the doctor was telling me either they're going to send me home, or since I had a C-section the first time, I want to consider having that again, and they could, you know, get things started on that. And I mean, I was a little disappointed, but I kind of felt myself also trying to give up at that point because I just wanted this baby out. And I mean, I hated that I felt that way, but right after that, right after that thought I had in my head, like, I got the strongest and longest contraction ever, and the doctor was able to see it on the chart and was like, yeah, it looks like you're not going anywhere, you're gonna admit you. And I was like, thank you, God. So they admitted me and then transferred me into a delivery room. So the doctor checked my cervix to see how dilated I was, and she couldn't reach my cervix. I'm like, of course, you're short, you have tiny little hands, of course you can't reach. But yeah, her checking my cervix and trying to reach, literally, like, she basically shoved her whole arm up in there and still couldn't reach. So she came back to check later, and I was at 3 centimeters, and she did know that I wanted to have a VBAC, and she was very, very happy for me. She was like, wow, that's great progress, that's great progress for you to be dilated 3 centimeters. Oh, and I was 100% effaced. Yep, 100% effaced, 3 centimeters dilated. I was like, thank you, Lord Jesus, this is going great. So she was so happy for me. She smiled at me. She was like, yeah, looks like you're doing really well. So yeah, let's just continue in the labor. And then I did ask for the epidural because, yeah, at this point, it was very painful. I was breathing through it, trying not to hold my breath. So the anesthesiologist finally came and we got the epidural going. At one point during the administration of the epidural, I did feel very lightheaded, and I had to lay down for like a couple seconds, and then, you know, they completed the process. So after the epidural, I felt great. I was not feeling the pain. I just felt the pressure of the contractions, but even that, I didn't even feel it that much. So that was good. So it was time for a shift change at the hospital, and the doctor that came next was also a really, really good doctor. She was the doctor that ended up delivering me. She was a great doctor. Thank God it was a woman this time, because if you watched my first baby, I was not happy about having a male doctor deliver me. But all my doctors this time were women, so that was good. So, you know, of course they kept checking me, and I was, you know, progressing. At one point I got to 6 centimeters, and then I think at the 6 centimeters mark, they kept monitoring. We had kept monitoring my blood pressure the whole time too. So it kept going up, and even though I was trying so hard to avoid this whole magnesium procedure again, they had to put me on magnesium because my blood pressure kept, you know, going up again. I was like, oh great. You know what? I'm not gonna get discouraged. I'm still gonna be positive. I did not pray for blood pressure, but hey, if this happens, whatever. But I'm still gonna be positive and just know that things are gonna still be good. So they put me on magnesium again, and this time the side effects were not as bad as it was the first time. So I was very thankful for that, but still I did feel a little bit, you know, uncomfortable, woozy, and all that stuff. So the doctor came to check me again, and I was at 8 centimeters. I was 8 centimeters dilated. I was so excited. My water hadn't broken yet, so the doctor goes ahead and breaks my water. She's like, that's gonna progress things even faster. So I was really happy to hear that. Yeah, I was just relaxing, just waiting to get to 10 centimeters, so we can have this baby. So an hour later, she comes back and she checks me, and we are at a 10, and she tells the nurses, all right, prep the delivery table or the receiving table, whatever you gotta do. It's go time. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I am completely dilated and I am going to push this baby out. Like, this is crazy. So when I was ready to push, the nurses would let me know when I was having a contraction, and they'll count through the pushing with me. I think she counted till 10. So with every contraction, they try to get how many pushes? Is it 3 pushes out of every contraction, I think? But yeah, and so she would tell me, she showed me how to push when they put my legs on the stirrup, and she told me to hold my legs and push it towards me and like push down or like something like that. And I did that, and it looked like the baby was, making progress. The baby was coming out. My husband was standing right there. He's like, oh my gosh, I see her hair. I see the baby's hair right there. And I was like, oh my gosh, take a video. I was like, take a video, I want to see. And then the nurse asked me if I wanted a mirror to see. I was like, no, I think I'm good. I'll just do the video. So my husband took a video of it, and I could see like her hair like literally poking through. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, I'm actually doing this. And so, contraction after contraction, I would push, and the nurses was like, all right, well, it looks like we're ready to have the doctor. I was like, wow, like this baby could fall out any second right now. So the doctor comes in, and I give I think 2 more pushes, and the baby just plop, like I hear this plop and like this burst of, this burst of air just pushes out of me. I was like, oh my God, like, did I just do this? Like, I feel like I was in shock. I was just like hyperventilating at this point. I was like, oh my God. That was literally me on like my bed. I was like, wow, I can't believe I did this. Like, they cleaned her out and they put her on my chest, and I was done. I was like, wow, like I literally wanted this experience. I wanted this moment where the baby comes out and they put her right on you, and I got it. Like, I got what I prayed for. And I also remember praying that the baby would be between 5.5 to 6.5 pounds. She weighs 6 pounds 3 ounces, like right in there in that range. And I was so thankful. I was so grateful. And then I asked my husband, I was like, oh Lord, did I tear? And he was like, did you tear? Yeah, you like tore, like you tore, like I'm talking about your guts and everything tore. I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. So yeah, it turns out I had a 3rd-degree tear. And so when the doctor was sewing me up, I actually felt the sewing. So I was like, I can feel you sewing me. Can I, get the epidural going? So the nurse was like, oh, it looks like you're at the very end of your epidural. I was like, oh my gosh. But I'm glad I wasn't at the end when I was, pushing the baby out, because I didn't want to feel myself tearing, a 3rd-degree tear. But the pain from the sewing wasn't that bad. It was like probably like a 6 or 7. But then I was so focused on my baby being on my chest. I was so excited. I was so happy. So, she could do whatever she was doing, and I was not even paying attention to her. But yeah, that was my story. That was my successful VBAC story. Thank God, everything went great. Everything went well. I will do a separate video talking about my 3rd-degree tear and how to take care of it and what to do and what not to do. But so yeah, this is it for this video. If you have any questions, anything specifically you would like to know, comment in the comment section below, or however you want to contact me, let me know and I will answer for you. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all in my next. Do not come here.
Can I drink some milk?
Do not come here.
Catch you guys in our next video. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and bye. Bye.
Okay, bye. Sorry. Alright guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.
Okay, bye.